a.m. live stream here to chat about Freemasonry. So, any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? Let me know. I'd love to hang out and chat with you guys. Also, maybe talk about some plans I have coming up this week, or this weekend actually. Normally, I don't do weekend live streams. There are exceptions, and I may be making a special exception this week. If I am, then I guess I will let you know tomorrow. But be prepared for that. I'll either be doing a special weekend live stream on my personal YouTube channel or on this one. Pay attention for news. Follow me on all my socials to know about that. Julius Gaming 23. Hello. I think you're new to the stream. If you are, please hit like and subscribe. Your name, Julius Gaming, makes me think that you might be a gamer. If that is the case, let me know what your favorite video game is. Mine is mine is Dead Space. Probably Dead Space 2. I play a lot of PS3. Because that is all I have. But let me know how it's going. Red Dead Redemption. Okay, and Dream Seeker. So, what? Hello, Ryan. So, Dream Seeker, you'll be at the coffee club in what, 8 hours? Are you going to be there for 9 or 10 a.m.? Let me know which time. And I'll do my best to make sure I'm there as well. And Ryan, I hope that you're doing well also. Thank you for joining. To everybody here, please hit the like button. There's 5 people watching. Well, I won't be there at 8 a.m. That's way too early for me, Ryan. 9 a.m. Okay. Then I will meet you there. Just make sure to get there. Call me. I'll let you in the front doors. Don't be nervous. It's fine. Just bring donuts. They'll love you. Bring donuts and bring $2. Julius Gaming. Okay, Grand Lodge. Grand Lodge in Ontario, I'm assuming, is the Grand Lodge to which you're referring. I've been to a few different annual communications. I'm blessed to have been able to travel to many of them. But I'm assuming Toronto, or I guess Etobicoke. Well, this is a good place to practice. Honestly, if you come at 9, there might just be 3 people there at most, 2 or 3. It tends to get busier around 9:30, 10 o'clock, but 9:30 is very much less busy. So it'll be just a few people. But Julius Gaming, I hope that I don't know if you've watched any other of my channels, or sorry, of my streams. I basically use these 1 a.m. streams to just hang out and chat about Freemasonry. I am not, but I know I have a very high-pitched nasally voice. But cannot nonetheless hit like and subscribe. I mean, you don't have to stay till 10:30, because I don't think I'll be staying there till 10:30. I'll probably be leaving around 10 o'clock. You can stay till 10:30. That's perfectly fine. You can stay for however long or however not long you want. It's perfectly fine. I'll introduce you to some of the guys. It'll be a lot of fun. But there's no rule that says you have to stay for the entire time. That would be crazy. Oops, I just really made a mistake. All right. Mills, I just finished making. That does sound very good, Mills. What's the recipe? Oh, there's not going to be a meeting tomorrow. It's just the coffee club, so there's no meeting afterwards. Um, that was a every Wednesday thing, so there's no meeting. It's just the coffee club, which is wonderful because then you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about the meeting or dressing in a suit and tie or anything like that, just come for coffee, hang out, casual dress. It'll be fun. And like I said, where else can you get a bottomless cup of coffee for $2? Mills, please hit like and subscribe, and thank you for being here. To everybody joining us, we're here to chat about Freemasonry. So any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. These 1 a.m. streams, I don't really have any specific topics. Rather, it's just hanging out and seeing what people want to talk about. I'm enjoying these streams. I get a lot of great questions about Freemasonry, and so I love them. Sometimes it's Masons who have questions about their Masonic experience. Sometimes, like I said, there's lots of different discussions we can have. So I hope you enjoyed my live stream this morning where I discussed the 1 p.m. the effect I believe the shutdown may have on Freemasonry, or more, why I believe the shutdown in the States will have an effect on Freemasonry. I am curious to know what other people are thinking, though, so please hit the like and subscribe button. Freemasonry, a Freemason would be a member of a Masonic lodge, somebody who's a member of a Freemasonry Masonic lodge. Freemasonry refers to a civic or social club, oftentimes considered a fraternity, though there are female members as well, or female orders within Freemasonry. It's existed since 1717, June 24th, 1717. Greta Garbage, hello? I don't think you're garbage. Greta, I'm sure you're a very good person, but please hit the like and subscribe button. Mills, I hope I answered your question well. If I didn't, I can try again, but think of a fraternity or think of a social group. I saw the hearts too, so I was thinking Smokey. We'll see. If not, whoever put the hearts in, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Doing well. How are you doing? But no, I'm doing very well. It's almost the weekend, and I have AMC, so I can watch the AMC Fear Fest, which is especially fun. But thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope everybody is doing well. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. If you're new to the stream, if you're not new to the stream, welcome. I saw you sent me a link. Was it for a new? Was it for a new video? Have you done another music video? Nice. So a second one. That's awesome. Keep up the good work. MNFST. Do you have to pay to join the Freemasons? Almost always, yes. There may be lodges where there's an exception. Every lodge decides for itself its dues structure. Normally, though, there are two payments. First, there's usually a one-time initiation fee, which can be anywhere between $500 to $1,000, give or take. Some have heard to be lower, some higher, but that I think is an average. That's a one-time payment. And then you have yearly dues, which are usually between 100 to 200 US per year. It can be as cheap as $40 per year. It can be as expensive as $500 per year. I've seen both of those. Again, every lodge decides its dues structure. So if you're at a cheaper, or if you're, say, you're joining a lodge that's smaller, that has less expenses, you might pay as little as $50 per year to be a Mason. Whereas if you're at a lodge that's in a big city where the costs are higher, you might be paying as much as 500 per year. It really depends on the lodge and their expenses. Um, Great. I'm glad I'm in it, the Brotherhood. And MNF, I think you're new to the stream. If you are, please hit like and please hit subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. And thank you for being here. No worries. I hope maybe you'll subscribe, if not like. But what type of music do you like? MNFST. I'm just gonna call you M. I hope that's okay. For me, by the way, my favorite song is "Simple Man" by Leonard Skinner. My second favorite song is "Prodigal" by Blacktop Mojo, which is a very good song. Okay, manifest. What does seven refer to? Although, actually, speaking of music, the Brotherhood, who is above you in the chat, he's actually a music. He's a music. He's a musician. He's an artist. He actually produced a video about Freemasonry, music video about it, and a song about it. So check out his channel. Sandra, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button if you get the chance. I truly appreciate it. And if you're new to the stream, please jump in the chat and say hello. Dark Knight, hello. How's it going? Thank you for being here. Not quite normal. I'm not quite normal either, so believe me, you're not alone in that. The Brotherhood is a musician. He produced a song about Freemasonry. If I recall correctly, it's called The Brotherhood. I'm in it. Not as a singer, no one wants that, but just a picture of me. But my favorite song, again, not quite normal, is Simple Man by Leonard Skinner and Prodigal by Blacktop Mojo. Two absolutely awesome and incredible songs. Yes, I've heard of him. He is a great, actually, I've seen some of his videos. He is a great Masonic musician also. You are welcome for the shout out. What is Freemasonry? Freemasonry references a fraternal or civic organization or a social club. It references groups that descended or evolved from stonemason guilds in the Middle Ages and are now, again, civic or social groups. So it's kind of similar to being part of a fraternity. Um, Craven, I am neither of those things. I am not of Russian ancestry, and actually, I've never had a drink of alcohol of any sort. So maybe I just seem weird, which is very possible. Or maybe this red shirt makes me seem Russian. Either way, Craven, please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know how it's going, and if you have any thoughts that you want to talk about when it comes to Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. Well, Craven, I am not. I'm actually, my pops is English. My mom is born in Canada. So, yeah. That is not true, Craven. I'm not sure where you heard that from, but I mean, I've been a Freemason since 2007, so 20 years almost. At no time did I ever hear that. Um, Nor was I ever taught that, nor have I ever taught anybody that. So, I mean, Freemasonry does because Egypt and Egyptology was very popular once upon a time. especially in England, a lot of kind of Egyptian mythology and symbolism found its way into Freemasonry, but that's not a Masonic idea. Grandpa, making me feel old. You shouldn't, Craven. You don't have to become a Freemason. There's no should or shouldn't. I guess what I'd say is it's up to you. But I can't tell you what you should or shouldn't do. So, sorry, Craven, you're gonna have to decide that for yourself. Maybe if based on some of the things I talk about, you find it interesting, then maybe you will be interested in joining. In which case, what you need to do is um, find a lodge within your area. What would I learn? Well, you'll learn some specific knowledge about Freemasonry, which is not super applicable outside of it. How do I describe it? There are no benefits per se. It's not about that. It's about what you can contribute to the world, right? The way you can make the world a better place through the applications of brotherly love, relief, and truth. I mean, there is something within humans that desires being part of a group or part of a club. That's just our nature. That's something that from children creating clubhouses, right? And Freemasonry is an extension of that, no different than a knitting club or joining a football team, right? Within Freemasonry, you develop brotherhood and bonds through historical knowledge, rituals, charity work, socializing, things of that nature, right? But ultimately, it's about the desire to belong to something bigger than yourself and to contribute to the world. Um, so, Stephen, it is not a demonic organization. I'm very sorry to say, as somebody who's been a Mason for 20 years, um, I can tell you, never has I've seen or experienced anything that I would describe as demonic. Why? Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that the Freemasons are secretive. Some of it, especially in Europe, was a hangover from Nazi Germany, where Freemasons were persecuted, and as a consequence of that, many Masons in Europe, even if they weren't under Nazi rule, became concerned and became more secretive, and kind of maintained that. Um, but also keep in mind, right, Freemasonry is not really, it's not a religion of any sort. It doesn't really have a requirement to spread, what's the word that you use? Like, it doesn't do missionary work, right? That's not what Freemasonry is about. Freemasonry is not about, Freemasonry ultimately it's about people need to want to join. We don't go out and recruit or spread the word or try to convert people. That's not what Freemasonry is about. We just exist, try to be the best Masons we can be, try to help out where we can, and hope that people will find us interesting and want to join for brotherhood, for, contributing to something that makes the world a better place. But we're not really, we don't have any kind of requirements or expectations to spread the word of Masonry, right? We can talk about it and why we love it and why I love it, but that's not the same as trying to convert people, which is certainly not something Freemasonry does. But the other thing to keep in mind about the secretive nature of Freemasonry, Craven, it is a little bit overdone by Masons sometimes to make themselves seem cool. However, here's one thing I would mention, and the example I've used a million times. Let's say, Craven, you have that your grandfather gave to your father, gave to you, goes to your son or daughter, whatever it is. Gets passed down generation to generation. The reason you keep that family recipe a secret is not because there's anything nefarious within the recipe, or anything that needs to be kept secret per se. You keep the family recipe a secret because by keeping it within the family, you maintain the bonds of connection between your grandparents and your parents to you to your kids. It's about maintaining the bonds of familial bonds through the privacy of the family recipe. In the same way, we in Freemasonry, what we ultimately pass down to our brothers is our ritual. And by maintaining the privacy of that ritual, it's a way to maintain the bonds of brotherhood between our brothers without without allowing others to kind of be a part of it without joining and being Masons. I hope that made sense. Christopher Cooper, I am not Paul, I am Cameron. And you are here, and I don't believe you're a subscriber, so please hit the like and subscribe button. I mean, I wouldn't use the term anointed, not quite normal. We in Freemasonry don't really anoint people. We have people join. So I hope you hit the like and subscribe button, though. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Awesome. So is mine. My dad's a Freemason, as were both my grandparents. But that's really cool. That's something we have in common. So that's awesome. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if maybe he had a bad experience or maybe he felt you weren't ready to join or had other commitments. It's hard for me to say anything without knowing more about the situation. You say was, which makes me think either your father passed away or he's not a Mason anymore. But either way, I hope that maybe you don't have a negative view of Freemasonry. Well, ping pong, many people don't like me. You are you'll have to get in a very long lineup of people who don't like me because I'm not alone. So then I guess I'm not sure why he didn't let you join. I guess you'd have to ask him why it is with Freemasonry he didn't want you to join. I'm sure he had a good reason. Maybe he just felt you were too busy or too dedicated to your family, which is a good reason to not join if you have other commitments that need to come first. Well, you need sponsors. Usually, you need two sponsors. They don't have to be family members. They can just be members of the lodge. They can be friends. They can meet you and get to know you and decide to sponsor you. Um, then there's a investigation committee of three other lodge members that will come and chat with you and talk to you about joining. So, not quite, but kind of on the right track. Not quite normal. Um, well, all right. Overdose. To put you in a timeout for a little while. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for being here. Please, again, take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button if you're new, especially if you're new to the stream. Yeah, I mean, I'll link it right now to Facebook. Do you want me to link it to the Square and Compass Facebook or my personal Facebook? God, I mean, that's a question and a half. Most Grand Lodges will say they have. The extent to which they have or haven't, though, is questionable. I think a lot of times it's not really changes, it's just slight alterations to the same form. I think we need to take a radical new approach um, to membership. No, Dark Knight, that is absolutely not the case. There are Masons of all different ethnicities who are welcome to join. All right. I will link it to it right now. I should link these more to my socials than I do, to be honest. Um, John Brown, what is going on? I hope you're doing well. Hold on 1 second. All right. I just linked it. I mean, we can be well mannered, not always. There we go. Just linked it now. But I try to be well mannered, I suppose. Actually, it's not posting for some. There it goes. But I think we need to consider some radically different approaches to membership. And I think we maybe need to even be more open to this idea of recruiting. I know I said we in Freemasonry don't recruit, which generally speaking is a good idea, but I think it's worth considering. I mean, what makes you think I haven't given my butt for much less? Let's put you in a timeout for a little bit. Hello, Courtney. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I'm doing well. How are you doing? How are things going? How goes the proficiency and the studies? I'm sure it's all going great. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Like I said, I'd still love to get the chance, if I can, hopefully soon, to visit you guys. Fingers crossed. We're gonna give it a bit of time, see who else joins. Thank you, everybody who's been here so far. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. One p.m. Awesome. I mean, I miss the Philippines. I wish I could have been there for longer. I was there for basically a day and a half, but the Philippines, absolutely beautiful country, one of the best. I love Manila. I was there for 2 days. I wish I could have been there longer. No, Samuel, I would not because cats are awesome. Not quite normal. Dream area to live in? I mean, I like where I live right now. I love Windsor. I have many dream places to visit. In terms of dream places to live, harder to say because I like where I'm at. It's a pretty incredible place. I'm very lucky to be here. But Sam, I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for being here. You know what? I'm going to say my dream area to live. Actually, I'm going to say Glenview, Illinois, because it's one of my favorite villages. I visit there all the time, and I love it. I feel like it's part of my home, or it is my home. Yes, I want to make it to that annual communication very badly because, again, I love Manila. I don't think so, Al. I don't know to what you're referring. I know Manly P. Hall, but I don't know anything about his death. I mean, I think you may be thinking of Sam Adams, to be honest. Oh, I'll be back. I get it. Be back. I'll be back. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And let me know how you're doing if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. Illinois is beautiful, and Glenview, Illinois, which is about 40 minutes north of Chicago, give or take, is one of my favorite small towns in the whole world. I visit it all the time. I consider it a second home. I mean, I don't know how to get to Cebu from Manila, but I'm sure there's flights or boats or transportation of some sort. Welcome, you're just joining us. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know how it's going. If there's anything you want to talk about when it comes to Freemasonry, any thoughts you have, positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. Or we can just hang out. And pay attention for some announcements. I may have some special streams and things happening this weekend. And if I do, I will definitely let you guys know. But thank you for joining. How big is Cebu, the Brotherhood? Like, is it as big or as many people as say Manila, because I found Manila very densely populated, which it was cool. I loved all the people, but so many people everywhere. It was crazy to see. Well, that I have no idea. I wasn't me, Al. It wasn't me, I promise. Gemini Jake says, "Ooh, Freemasonry." Well, ooh, please hit like and subscribe, Gemini Jake, and thank you for being here. Alfred, thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. We're here chatting about Freemasonry. Please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, please let me know. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Positive, negative, or neutral, I'd love to hear them. I'm sure I will, the Brotherhood. I'm sure it will be absolutely awesome. Freemasonry in general in the Philippines is really awesome. I thought it was incredible. So, like I said, my only regret, I did not spend longer there. Province type vibes. Very cool. Um, because the Philippines themselves, right, they're a series of islands, right? If I recall correctly, like a lot of people, I think, I always thought of the Philippines as kind of a single island, but it's actually a lot of different islands. Oh, beaches are always amazing. Well, to be a worship master, you need to be a third degree or master mason. Right, worship master is not a separate degree; it's just part of being a third degree master mason. So, you mean Tibet? Oh, Timbits. Yes, Timbits are great. You know, I was just joking with you, Dream. You don't have to bring anything. I was just kidding. Just your presence is perfectly fine. I was just joking. I promise. Yes, as a Freemason, I do believe a perfect circle exists. Freemasons care a lot about geometry, geometry of any sort, including perfect circles. So, oh my gosh, are all 7,641 um, populated, or are some of them not populated? Annas, Annas. Okay, very cool. Welcome, Annas. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you, Henry. I Mark Wahlberg is a very handsome fella. So if you think I look like Mark Wahlberg, I will take that as a compliment 100%. Well, so that's interesting, not quite normal. Because the origins of Freemasonry, in some ways, they're very simple, and in other ways, they're very complicated. They're very simple in that Freemasonry, you could argue, began June 24th, 1717, with the formation of the Premier Grand Lodge of England. But as Freemasonry is evolved from stonemasonry, you could argue that Freemasonry's origins trace as far back as 3 million years to when our human ancestors shaped the first stone tools. I think the history and origins of Freemasonry, what it demonstrates ultimately is that Freemasonry is made of stone, or more particularly, the human desire to find friendship and brotherhood with other people is actually metaphorically and literally made of stone. And for that reason, it has continued to exist from literally time immemorial. And I think that's a beautiful thing, right? Freemasonry, what other organization can trace its roots back millions of years? And it demonstrates how important stone is to the development of humans. Super Dab, hello. Thank you for being here. Annas. I do not believe either of those things, Annas. I'm not particularly religious. I believe in a supreme being, but I would not necessarily call myself Christian, for example. Henry, you don't have to be sorry to say it. I am not a full on Republican, but if you are a full on Republican, then you do you. I'm sure we would have many political disagreements. However, that would not stop me from respecting, well, certainly it doesn't stop me from having you on the channel. So thank you for being here. I hope you'll hit the like button and subscribe button. I don't believe full-on Republicans have any concerns with hitting like and subscribe, at least not to my knowledge. you threw a lot of people at it and you didn't care if they lived or died or how well they lived, and you took a lot of time. When you are, when you have basically God-like powers, not powers, but God-like authority, and you're the Pharaoh and you can do whatever you want and force people to do whatever you want, you can basically throw a lot of people at problems until you solve them. So I think that's how they did. Well, so interestingly enough, actually, time management is a lesson within Freemasonry, within the first degree, where we are reminded of the importance of time management and dividing our time up in such a way. I'm speaking of emulation ritual, that we fulfill all of our obligations and responsibilities: work obligations, family, leisure, recreation, including Freemasonry, and sleep and prayer. That we have to divide all of our time up in such a way to fulfill these obligations. So Freemasonry does, within the first degree, remind people of the importance of time management. I don't know if it's a unique perspective, rather it emphasizes its importance. And it uses symbols from stonemasonry to remind us of that. Rosicrucians, they, if I recall correctly, were founded in 1910. It's another kind of esoteric, um, kind of social club or group. I don't know as much about it as Freemasonry. There are some connections between the two. Certainly, Rosicrucianism influenced some aspects of Freemasonry, but I don't know a ton about it per se. Okay, I mean that's interesting, Steve. Normally, you would not be asked. Rather, if you are interested in Freemasonry, you're encouraged to ask others. But to be asked to be a Freemason, that sounds a bit like recruiting, which is not something we would do, per se. So I'm not really sure what to say. Maybe your preacher meant something else. Thank you, Not Quite No. I hope I've given you some good, intriguing information. And if you're not done so yet, I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. I mean, I guess what I'll say, Anis, is I'm one who believes that people can find truth in different ways. I'm not necessarily one who believes that truth is exclusive to a particular religious belief. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I guess I'll be dealing with that, as you say, when I move on. But for now, that's kind of my view on it. All right, see you tomorrow, Dream Seeker. Thanks. And don't forget, give me a call, 519, or you have my number, to get in, come through the front doors. All right, thank you so much for being here. And happy almost birthday. Perfect. Thank you so much. We're just going to get a bit of time, see who else joins. I've got some great news, some exciting announcements. I can't wait to make them tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Some really cool stuff. To make them, what I may do is go onto my main channel, um, or use my computer to live stream instead of my cell phone so I can do the screen share. I'm not a fan of that, Alex. I know many Muslims, many Muslim Canadians. They're great people. They love Canada as much as they may, as much as anything else, as much as they love their families. They're good citizens. So I do not agree with that, Alex, and I do hope you'll hit a like button and a subscribe button. We're all gonna find out. My favorite answer to that is the Keanu Reeves answer. The ones who love us will miss us. Beyond that, I guess everybody has to decide that for themselves. Freemasonry makes no claims as to your spirit or your soul or what happens after you die, other than there does exist a kind of immortal idea within us. But what that is, um, you have to, that's a religious question. Okay, Anas. I mean, I know many people who are Muslim who follow the Quran, and I admire their religion. I certainly admire very much their dedication. I appreciate that many of the Muslim men are incredibly devout, and I appreciate that about the Muslim faith. There are many Muslim Freemasons. So yeah, and it's still there. I mean, it's still there, so I'm not necessarily sure that's fair to say when you say destroyed it. Jerry LeBreton. Awesome. Catholics are welcome on the stream as well. Everybody's welcome. Good for you, Jerry. We're here talking about Freemasonry. I know the Catholic Church is not a fan of Freemasonry per se. However, I am a fan of the Catholic Church. I think you're Catholics. I think you're, many Catholic friends. And from a Masonic perspective, we as Freemasons welcome men of all faiths, including Catholics. Yes, I have a bean head, but that shouldn't stop you from hitting the like and subscribe button. Again, not in my experience, Alex. So I think individuals can bring violence and wars. They can also bring peace and prosperity. And that is true for all people of all different faiths and religions. Okay, what's your favorite era of history, Jerry? I talk about history a lot on this channel because Freemasonry has historical roots. Please hit like and subscribe, by the way. One of my favorite Masons, famous for actually one of the few Masons who's like famous and well known for his, being a president, but also being a Mason. A lot of famous Masons are not really known for being a Freemason, right? Like most people don't know that Winston Churchill was a Freemason, or FDR or Truman, but George Washington's Masonic career is pretty well known by the public. Okay, that's a really cool era of history. I don't know a ton about pirate history. All my knowledge of pirates comes from uh, Pirates of the Caribbean and Johnny Depp. So whether that's accurate or not, I guess we'll see. Pinhead, I'll take Pinhead, but please hit like and subscribe nonetheless. Um, I think the Hellraiser series, by the way, is one of the most underrated horror franchises or horror series of all times. Once again, you can say all these mean things about my head and my hair, but first, or my hairline, but first you have to hit the like and subscribe button. Then you can say these things. Yes, listen to Jerry. Why are you pooping on me? I don't mind, Jerry. If you're gonna be on internet and if you're gonna be on the internet and you're gonna live stream, then part of that is accepting the fact that you're gonna get some people on your stream pooping on you. You just kind of have to accept it. It's the price you pay, right? Everything you do in life, there's a price, and you have to decide whether you're willing to pay it. And honestly, the cost or the price of having people I don't know pooping on me and my face versus the benefits of getting to meet people like yourself, it's worth it. It's worth it. I'd pay it again. So, yes, I believe he did. I mean, I know he did the cornerstone, and the corn and oil are part of the ceremony. So, what about both? What do you mean, what about both? Um, I mean, again, I think there's been many examples in history of Muslims like Muslim rule was known as being a time of scientific advancement of various parts of the world. Look at Morocco, right? Which even today, which under Muslim rule is, a vibrant, thriving country. I agree, but at least they're here, right? At least they're here. If they're here, it's something. Well, Washington was a master mason. He was third degree. I don't believe he ever joined any appendant bodies. I don't even recall if the appendant bodies began in 1776. I think there was at the time, actually. I think there was York Rite, but I believe he was master mason. I do, Homelander. I do eat crayons for the color. Not most, but several. Indio kid. You need to be careful about the most statement. But there were several founding fathers who were Freemasons. The most famous being George Washington, Ben Franklin, Paul Revere, John Hancock. Those are the ones I can think of. Well, I mean, even in terms of just when you say colonizers, people traveling from the old world to the new world, again, some were Freemasons, not the majority. Certainly, Freemasonry being the most ubiquitous was the 1920s, for the record, and the 1950s, right? So many, many couple centuries after the founding of America. Well, there you go, Jerry. That is cool. I hope that, like I said, you'll just keep following me on YouTube. I also hope you'll check out my Patreon, check out my Instagram, all that jazz. It would be incredibly helpful. Well, I mean, civilization started in many different places. Global Tepi, I can never pronounce that. Africa, and then you had Mesoamerica, you had North America. It started independently in many different areas around the globe. I would say you could argue civilization started with stones, but that's me as a Mason, when the first human ancestor took the time to shape a stone tool, thereby creating stonemasonry, thereby improving the diets of our ancestors, getting more protein, allow them to evolve, to do more, and the rest is history. Millions of years of history. What I meant by civilization is that this is where the first human, I believe the first farms were actually in almost Asia, right? Like the Hittites or Egypt. The Mesopotamians or Phoenicians, I believe. Sorry, Anis. I don't know a lot about these Bible passages. We're probably way over my skis right now. I'm definitely not super knowledgeable on um, biblical passages of theology, but I'm trying to be better. I'm working on it. Gemini, Jake, welcome. Thank you for being here. I would agree with you. Civilization does, I don't know if it begins with civility, but I believe it requires civility. Or unless you mean the word civilization and civil. If you mean more metaphorically, I don't think civility is necessary for civilization to begin, but I think it's necessary for civilization to remain or to be any stable. It tends to begin, I think, out of necessity more than civility. I mean, I would question that evidence. I mean, I would place, if I recall correctly, the first humans into North America about 20,000 years ago, but I could be mistaken. I did see the movie Prometheus. I liked it. Um, I mean, I enjoyed pretty much all the Alien movies. The one I didn't like probably was Covenant, but other than that, I enjoy them all. I like Prometheus actually a fair bit. Well, I'm definitely have to question that Indio kid or Indio KD. I'm not. I'm thinking that might not be the case, but okay. I mean, I'm interested to learn more, but I tend to accept the more general accepted timeline, which is, humans themselves evolved about 200,000 years ago from our ancestors and made it to North America about 20,000 years ago. That's to say that I could be wrong. It's anything is possible, and I've been wrong many times. So the greatest conqueror in history. I mean, as a fan of ancient Rome, Julius Caesar um, would have to be, in my opinion, at the top for his conquest of Gaul, as well as in some ways you could argue his conquest of Rome. Those more, I guess it was a military as well as political conquest. I have no idea. I've never. I mean, actually, I do have somewhere the square footage of my room, so I suppose I could figure out the square root, but that's a lot of work, and I do not like math at all. In fact, I hate math. Um, I like geometry, but I do not like math. I'm curious what Google's going to say. Humans first arrived. Not that Google's a trusted source. You should always do research beyond it. But if I just type the search in, so according to this, 15,000 to 30,000 years ago is what Google's AI says. Now, I could be very wrong, but it looks like University of Oxford 30,000 years ago. Well, then we'll see. Right now, I think the Smithsonian is shut down, actually, with the shutdown. But maybe once it's not shut down anymore, he'll do so. And we'll see. There's always stuff we don't know. I definitely don't think that's the case. I mean, some may or may not, but um, Um, I believe most people who follow Islam and are Muslim desire the best for this country as they desire for every country. California mastodon bones. All right, let's see. Oh, it says Mastodon Bones, California. Cerruti Mastodon Site, San Diego County. Well, Illuminator, that's great, but I'm not a fan of him personally. But I'm still happy you're here, Illuminator. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions on Freemasonry. Positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. Alexander the Great is a very good choice. My thing with Alexander the Great, though, is he wasn't around long enough to count. He died at 33 years of age. Spoiler alert. So, that makes me be hesitant to put him at the top. I will look that up for sure. It could be fun to talk about tomorrow on the stream. So I would definitely look that up. We could ask that as a poll, as a question here. What is your favorite, or who is your favorite conqueror? But I gotta go with Julius Caesar. I mean, the interesting thing about Oriental or like Chinese mythology is you do see square and compasses present in Chinese mythology, which I think is a really cool thing, right? The fact that you do see that and see those images. It shows the square and compass as being incredibly vital and incredibly important parts of our kind of understanding of the world. I don't know if I'd use the term win or lose in this context. Definitely from a cultural perspective in North America, I think most people grow up with a kind of a cultural understanding of Christianity, even if they're not Christians. So it kind of won in the sense of had the most cultural context assigned to it. But different things have their times as well in our culture, and there may be times when other religious ideas or philosophies have more of a hold. Oh my gosh, Corey and Trevor's store. Yes, that's true, Frank. Well, Corey, I can't tell. I mean, I worked in a jail for 5 years. A lot of people have, you're absolutely right, have a very tough time when they are leaving jail. I was a probation officer and then a rehab officer. And a big part of my job was helping people when they were getting out of jail find places to live, find homes, things of that nature, find jobs, if they needed help with social assistance. I used to always talk to them about coming into jail for a lot of people was very scary, but then leaving jail was also very scary and very tough. So you're absolutely right. So nothing but respect to you, Corey, for having such a good attitude. I'm very happy you find life fantastic. You have your truck sleeper and you own that, which is awesome. A lot of people going that direction now. Keep up the good work, Corey. And I know it's tough, and the fact that it's tough and you're doing well, I think you should be very impressed. Well, now it sounds to me like you're trolling a little bit and you're referencing the Trailer Park Boys. So maybe I missed something. However, I will say this in general. Please hit like and subscribe, by the way, to anybody watching this. On the off chance you have gotten out of jail and are struggling, it is really tough, but you have the capability to make it and to do a good job. So keep up the good work. Just keep stepping one foot in front of the other. McCoy Flores, welcome. Thank you for being here. Please hit like and subscribe. Freemasonry welcomes people of all different faiths. It seems, McCoy, that you are probably Christian, I'm going to assume. But thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great night. We will be ending this stream very soon. I loved it, but I do want to end this stream shortly. I will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m., and we're going to be talking about what I have planned tomorrow and some really exciting things. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back, Acadian. Thank you. I hope you have a great night as well. I just want to give it a couple more minutes, just on the off chance we get some more people jumping on, but I guess we'll probably be ending this stream shortly. If you want to join Indio at 1 p.m., you're more than welcome. Just what I'd say is hit the like button, but also subscribe, but also the notification bell so you see me when I come on and you can jump on. I mean, well, there's definitely an element of Victor's writing the story, right? So it is always possible for, like Julius Caesar famously did a lot of really terrible and horrible things. However, he also wrote his own biography and also wrote his own histories and obviously put himself in the best light possible in those histories. So perceptions based on propaganda can change our view of people from villain to hero and vice versa. I think, however, certainly in the case of Hitler, there's enough, like everything's on video, everything's recorded, everything's written, everything's been seen. There's really not any new information to be had. Because of that, I think we can all be very confident in saying Hitler was a villain, the villain, in some ways the ultimate villain, but was just a very evil person and an evil guy, right? There's enough, even I think if Germany and the Nazis had won World War II, there would still be enough evidence that it'd be, it would be obvious that he was the villain. He couldn't whitewash history enough to not make himself seem that way. The further back in history you go, the harder it gets. Again, Caesar's a great example. We know he did some terrible things. We also know he relied upon his own propaganda, especially because he was the victor, to cast himself in the best possible light. You're not wrong, Frank. I mean, the Gauls in general, right? The entire Gallic population. Well, Rec, please hit like and subscribe. I mean, I definitely don't agree with you on that one, Common. I think Jewish people are great, as are Christians and Muslims, and people of all different faiths and backgrounds. Saying Jews were not that great. I'm very concerned about that as an opening statement, because, again, you're lumping people into one group and then ascribing kind of a label to them, which I'm not a fan of. Um, I mean, Indio, it sounds to me like you and I have some very different views on this. But I am comfortable going on the record saying Hitler was or is, pick your term, in terms of like, I guess like was, or in my mind, I use the present tense because he was, is, and always will be kind of one of the best examples of evilness and cruelty that we have, certainly within a political context and as a world leader. Um, and Frank is not wrong. Again, times change, but I think that stuff will find its level. I don't think the criticism of George Washington will be strong enough to cast him as a villain. And look, I think it's perfectly fair to even people historically that I admire, like George Washington. I think it's perfectly fair to criticize them. Um, However, I think that criticism of people like George Washington also needs to take into account all of the things George Washington did that were so historically important and historically vital, and that we are still benefiting from today, right? I think America is a benefit to the world. If I imagined a map or a world globe 100 years from now and America was not on it, I would be saddened by that. So. Well, Indio, I think you and I disagree on several things, um, as does Common Sense and I. I don't think he was a bad person, but like I said, I think there are criticisms that you can levy at him, just as there are criticisms you can levy at every historical figure. But I think you have to balance out those criticisms with the positives of their life and what they did, which is a hard thing to do, but you can find a way. Thank you. I hope you did find it intellectual. I like to think of myself as able to carry a conversation for whatever it's worth. I mean, I like to think I'm going off of what I've read and researched and studied, both on my own and through schooling. I took classical history in school, um, so Greece and Rome, but I have tried to study other aspects of history as well. I don't think Indio's trying to troll. I think Indio genuinely believes what he's saying, Oxygen, and for that reason, he's welcome. I don't agree with him, but I'm not a fan of assigning the term troll to people right away. But Oxygen, I do hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button, and thank you for being here. Well, none of this, Oxygen. No calling people big man or anything like that. Especially because we're all on chat, so it sounds very silly when we can't actually even see each other to say these things. But I do hope you will hit the like and subscribe button to everybody watching this. And let me know if you have any questions or thoughts on Freemasonry. I would truly appreciate it. I mean, Frank's not wrong. There's definitely bias in victors, right? Winston Churchill famously said, "History will be very kind to me, for I intend to write it." Um, so, that's definitely something that happens, but um, I think we also can use our own brains and understanding the bias inherent in history, also recognize and understand that there are times when the answer is obvious, like Hitler was evil. Every Freemason loves that episode, Whack-A-Mole. That's called Homer the Great, the Stonecutters episode. One of my absolute favorite episodes of The Simpsons or television. I'm not even a big fan of The Simpsons per se. I just really like that episode. I thought it was really good. We all love the Stonecutters. We do. But no, do they? Yes, Freemasonry exists. I'm a Freemason. Been a Freemason for 20 years approximately. And proud of it. That was really funny, Whack-A-Mole. By the way, Whack-A-Mole, I think you're new to the stream, so please hit the subscribe button. Whack-A-Mole, please hit the like button. I would truly, truly appreciate it. And we'll be ending this stream soon. I will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Um, but thank you, everybody who's joined so far. I think that's a compliment, Mike. I will take it because those caricature drawings are awesome. I can talk, really. You did enter brashly, Oxygen, but you're here now, and I appreciate you wanting to discuss the ideas reasonably. I mean, we don't even have to discuss the ideas reasonably per se. What I would say more is it's just a matter of everybody, there are rules and there are times I will put people on timeout, but as a general rule, I try not to, even when I strongly disagree with them, because, if I want to have the opportunity to express my love of Freemasonry, I need to allow people to come on here and express their views as well, whatever those views may be. Again, there are exceptions if it starts to get too personal or insulting. That's usually when I block, or if you start to get a lot of racist or kind of swears or things like that. Matthew Freg, hola, Matthew Cannon, welcome. Please, Matthew, let me know how you're doing. Frag, shoot, what's the question? We can't go over anything tonight because I'm going to be editing the stream soon. What about the Knights of Columbus? They're a fraternal order, a social group through the Catholic Church, which is it's a separate group from Freemasonry, but both kind of have the same overarching purpose, which is to create a area for brotherhood and social support. Well, Frag, there are approximately 850,000 Freemasons in the United States of America. So you will have to ask each one what they think. There is no official Masonic stance on, for example, matters of politics or religion. Certainly no official Masonic stance on abortion. Every Mason has to decide that for himself. It sounds like Indio's argument is the history books are lacking information about the first people in North America. I don't think it's just history books, though. I think it's more than that. I think it's archaeological evidence. And I'll look up what you suggested, but to my knowledge, if humans had been in North America 300,000 years ago, there would be much more of an archaeological footprint than there actually is. We would see much more of them. naming sources is always good. It's always a good idea. So is liking and so is subscribing. By the way, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm going to have some exciting announcements, so stay tuned for that. So, India, what would be a good place to go? What would be a good source to start with? Something, don't, I mean, we can Google stuff, but the problem with Google is when I Google something, I get a different answer than what you Google, right? So, what would you say is a good source? You are welcome, Oxygen. I'm always saying that. You'll get bored of me saying it because I say it all the time. Um, Welcome back, Captain Blackbird. It's good to see you. Let's go the latter, that Egypt is America. Well, the danger of Google is you're not completely wrong, Oxygen. Ben, I'm good. I hope you're good. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. Right? The issue with Google isn't so much its bot is paid for. Rather, to me, the algorithm doesn't give the same information to everybody. It moderates it based on its profile of you to give you the information that you would want, which is dangerous because it means I can Google something and get an answer, and you can Google something. We Google the exact same thing, exact same words, yet get completely different answers, and we both assume that it's correct. It's not even being manipulated by its creators, Captain. I think it's being manipulated by the algorithm, right? The algorithm was created, and as a consequence, what it's doing is it's feeding us what it thinks we want to see and what will get the most reaction. Gandalf, that's quite a personal question. I'm not going to tell you. There are some things you don't get to know on this stream. But you can hit the like and subscribe button. Even if you like, subscribe, though, Gandalf, I'm not going to tell you that. So I guess you'll just never know. Well, Captain Blackbird doesn't mind sharing, so good for Captain Blackbird. Well, I've actually written about technology and how I think it affects Freemasonry. Okay, Indio, tomorrow, 1 p.m., by all means. You can we'll need the titles and the authors, and I can look them up. Or newspaper clippings, the date and times of the newspaper. Not the times, the date and the name of the newspapers, right? No, the algorithm is its own challenging thing, so. Oxygen does make a good point. We all are descended from the same stock, fish in the sea, in fact. Or if you don't believe that, we're all descended, from Adam and whatever it is you believe. We all come from the same stock and share the same nature, which is a Masonic idea. You are really concerned with that one thing, Gandalf. I feel like maybe you should be concerned about other things more than that. Like, for example, the fact that Halloween is coming up. Travis Bickle, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Yes, Gandalf. Fine. It wasn't Gandalf's ring though, right? It was Smeagol's ring. I don't really watch Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I'm not very conversant in this discussion. Oh, I gotta disagree with you on that one, Captain Blackbird. I love Halloween. Halloween is absolutely my favorite time of the year. Followed, and close second is Christmas, but Halloween's at the top. Kimari, hello. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining. Let me know if you have any thoughts. I do have another stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. and I hope that you will join me for that one. It'll be awesome. I'm going to have a lot of exciting announcements, so. I try to be great. I don't always succeed. I think the goal has to be that everybody tries their best, you know? There's this quote I really like. God, I don't know what the right thing to do is, but the fact that I'm trying to do the right thing, I hope pleases you. It's one of my favorite quotes. All right, people, I'm going to be ending this stream, I think, because I have to get to sleep because I got to be up early tomorrow. So please hit like, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. I hope everybody's doing well. And I hope that you have an excellent night. Everybody, join me tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We got a lot of exciting announcements. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.